Hi guys, welcome back to Robert's Homestead and How-Tos. And I know I've been slacking. I haven't showed you guys the garden. You've probably seen it in the background of a few of the videos. So today I'm going to show you the progress that we've had so far, some of the good, some of the bad, some of the ugly. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's give you a quick little tour of our garden. So this is our new location. We actually had another garden last year. It was in a different location. We thought it was going to work well, but unfortunately it was just way too much shade. And we kind of had the same problem in this area of the farm, but as of a few months ago, we got rid of that tree. There was another tree behind there, another tree there, and another tree there. So this is the first time that we've had some decent grass in this area now that we got rid of those trees. So we got plenty of sun, and so we decided to put the garden up here. Now the fence we definitely had to add because we have a ton of deer in this area. With the previous garden, we just used one of those mobile, you might be able to see it, one of those mobile electric fences, which worked pretty good. But for this, we knew this was going to be the more permanent solution, so we put us a really nice fence around here. See the nice little pergola archway. So as you come in, what we did was made a few raised beds here. Now what you'll notice is ours are kind of double stacked, and we did that for one main reason, just to make it easier to work in the garden, make it easier for the kids and make it easier for my wife, so you didn't have to bend over as far and as much, just again to make life a little bit easier. So very simple. You can see these boards right here, these were 2x12s, and I forget the distance. I think they are 8x4 if I remember correctly, but yeah, we just doubled those up, put some posts in each corner to give them a little bit more stability. And then once we had those built, these aren't completely full of soil. What we did was we took some of the leftover trees, I cut those up into smaller, like firewood size logs, and filled probably each of these beds up about halfway. That way it just took up some of the space, and those logs will decay over time, and that'll help the garden as well. Then on top of the logs, we just added some branches and some smaller limbs, and then finally some dirt and manure from the horses and the donkeys, and then eventually some raised bed garden soil. So everything has worked out pretty good so far this year. The one thing that didn't is that's been replanted. We had some cauliflower and broccoli over there. That just for some reason did not take off too well. And the ones that were halfway decent got eat up really bad by caterpillars. So we've replanted here. We've got some extra cucumbers. I think those are some pumpkins down there. We've got zucchini here, which has done very well so far. So well that there's not really anything to show you other than this guy hiding right down there. My wife has already picked the others. And if we go over to this bed, we've got a couple rows of green beans here. We've already picked those a couple of times. The problem with that is we just don't have enough. So next year, I think we'll maybe make a whole bed of green beans, just because with 2 rows, I mean, that's just not enough to even really do a meal. We've got some basil here. That has been tremendous. This is asparagus. We planted this before we really understood how asparagus grows and how to raise asparagus. And it kind of takes over and it kind of grows kind of funky, so I don't think we'll be doing this next year. This is our pride and joy bed. This is our tomato bed. You can tell these have taken off. We've already been eating tomatoes for weeks because these have been producing extremely well. There's 2 different sizes here. We bought 2 different brands. I can't remember what those were, but anyway, my wife will know better. I'll maybe link that in the description below. Green peppers have done extremely well. Banana peppers, not so much. We've picked a few. They've been pretty tiny. Nothing to brag about. Same thing here with the strawberries. That was a strawberry plant, but it died. The strawberries have done okay, but they seem to die pretty quickly, or if they do ripen the way that you would want them to ripen, they're like extremely tiny. So we may need to reinvestigate the whole strawberry thing. The cucumbers have done extremely well as well. You can see some tiny one. There's one. There's a couple down there. We've already picked probably 5 or 6. There's a big one right there. And then we planted some more green peppers where the other plants died. Here we've got some of these watermelon. Those are starting to vine up really well. Oh yeah, so speaking of the vining, this part I messed up on. So pro tip, if you plan on adding these archways for your vining plants, do so before you put the dirt and the soil and the debris or whatever else you're going to put in the garden bed. Do that first. You can see, if you look at ours, our cattle panels, and that's what these are. We just got these from Tractor Supply. I'll put that in the link below. You just bend them over. They make the best. They're the easiest to install. We originally tried to use some goat fencing that we had left over from the goats over there. That was just too flimsy. It bent too easily. It didn't hold its shape, but this cattle panel works extremely well. But ideally, you would want that on the inside of the bed, then load the bed full of all your, like I said, the logs, dirt, debris, whatever you're going to put in there, and that'll keep it secure. Since we didn't do that, we tried to do that because this was kind of an afterthought. We didn't really think about it ahead of time. We attempted to do that after we put the dirt and everything in the bed, and it was just impossible because there was just, the logs were too big and it was just not going to work. So we did the next best thing, and I installed it as best as I could on the inside of the bed, and I just used these fence posts, staples, and hammered those in all throughout just so they would stay nice and secure. Some might come out, and if they do, we'll just re-hammer them back in. But overall, this has worked really well. I am about 6'1", and I can walk through here easily, so this is probably, I don't know, 6'6", 6'7", so good height there, and it's all the way on the bottom to all the way on the bottom. If you want to make it taller, you can install it taller. And then our last bed here is bigger than these. It's I can't remember if that's 12 or 16, but anyway, this is all corn. However, it is 2 different types of corn. That's why you see some that are kind of taller than others. Plus, we've had a couple of big storms here lately, and the rain just came down so heavy. We actually thought it was going to destroy the corn. We didn't know if it was going to survive. You can see some of these are bent over quite a bit, but immediately after those storms, like this whole half of the bed was just laying flat. But luckily they've started to come back up, and we're hoping to get some corn here pretty soon. Looking forward to that. So that's about it, guys. We have a lot of stuff going. I know when we started this, we weren't sure exactly how it was going to go since our initial garden didn't work so great, but we are super happy, super thrilled with what we've got so far. Yeah, any questions, leave those in the comments below. I am not a garden expert, but it's been fun to learn. It's been fun to try new things. If you have any tips for us or you see anything, leave those in the comments below. I'm pretty happy with how this fence turned out. Oh, and I will show you this. This was not cheap, but it was worth every single penny. If you've seen these Facebook ads for these giraffe tools, greatest invention ever. I did have to put a post down into the ground, not a big deal, in some concrete, but this thing swivels back and forth, makes it super easy, and this thing unwinds as far as you want, and then it locks into place, and then when you're ready for it to retract, you just give it a little tug and the water hose retracts. Makes life so much easier when we have to water the garden or give water to the chickens or anybody else. And speaking of chickens, it looks like we got a chicken catcher over here. Hopi, show me the chicken. Which chicken is that? Is that Princess? Hi, Princess. Hi, give her a kiss. You're the chicken catcher, aren't you? Yeah. All right. All right, guys. So anyway, letting the chickens out for a little walk before bedtime. That's our garden. I hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you on the next video.